This graph represents the exact moment a local entrepreneur's investment disappears. You spend a week planning, filming, and editing a video for your business, but the analytics show a total flatline within the first 3 seconds. Viewers aren't scrolling past because they lack the ability to focus. They are scrolling because their attention is a finite resource that they have learned to guard. On a platform with infinite options, the brain becomes a high-speed filter. This filtering process is called thin slicing. Thin slicing is the brain's evolutionary mechanism for making high-speed judgments and assigning value to new information in a fraction of a second. If your video opens with a generic introduction or a slow-paced logo, the brain thin slices it as irrelevant. To survive the scroll, you have to function as a pattern interrupter, doing or saying something that breaks the user's subconscious scrolling rhythm. Surviving the first 3 seconds is a biological battle. You win by leveraging the brain's discomfort with incomplete information through a curiosity loop. A curiosity loop is a psychological technique that opens a narrative gap by introducing a compelling question or situation while deliberately withholding the resolution. The curiosity loop is a top-of-funnel mechanism, generating mass awareness. First, the specific question forces the brain to search for an answer. Next, the surprising twist. Challenging assumptions creates a cognitive gap the brain physically needs to resolve. These strategies work because they bypass the viewer's auto-scroll reflex. You aren't asking for their attention, you are making it psychologically difficult for them to leave. Verbal triggers provide the foundation, but to hold a viewer who is ready to swipe, your visual context has to be as demanding as your script. This is the visual tease. Show a climax or high-energy payoff, like this object shattering, without providing immediate context for why it's happening. You immediately followed up visual with a compelling promise. State the exact result the viewer will get by the end of the video, but keep the specific how hidden. Prompts like, "What if I told you?" or "Have you ever wondered?" act as immediate signals to the brain that a resolution is coming. They keep the psychological loop open and the viewer engaged. Combine a contextless visual tease with a "what if" prompt, and you create a trap the modern brain isn't wired to ignore. At this point, the viewer has stopped being a passive scroller. They are now physically waiting for the information required to close the loop you just opened. For a local business owner, this effectively captures the attention of thousands of potential customers who would have otherwise scrolled past. But a successful hook creates a new challenge. You have opened a massive curiosity gap, and you now have an audience with an expectation that you must fulfill. Earning 3 seconds of attention is a start, but it doesn't build a business. If a viewer watches a viral hook but has no clear destination to follow, all that attention is wasted. The mid-funnel is where you move from earning a viewer's attention to earning their trust. To turn a 3-second scroll into a client, you must provide expert storytelling, using your deep industry knowledge to resolve the curiosity gap. A single 15-second video isn't long enough to establish the authority needed for a sale. Local entrepreneurs need a content ecosystem where that storytelling can actually live. We developed the Voxel Micro Video Labs podcast system to serve as that ecosystem. It acts as the central hub where those short-form hooks send your audience to hear the long-form evidence of your expertise. Because the system prioritizes depth over speed, it actively moves scrollers away from the distractions of the feed and into a space where they can hear the full context of your business and value. Stop fighting the algorithm for 3-second crumbs. Use the curiosity loop to open the door, but let Voxel build the house so that when an audience finds you, they stay.